Can you explain commercial real estate syndication and why you took that path?
Real estate syndication, I had a very good friend, still a friend to this day, whose father syndicated businesses, and the word back in those days, and I don't hear it quite as much now as I used to hear it. It was the letters were OPM, other people's money. And Ted, my friend, his dad, his motto was OPM. He would create these businesses, and it was through OPM, going out, raising money, and he was a very intuitive guy, very bright guy, and he created a series of businesses and made a lot of money. Unfortunately, lost a lot of money too, but it was through the notion of OPM. And if you're having a problem understanding it, think of Shark Tank. Shark Tank's a very popular TV show. The folks on Shark Tank are essentially syndicating deals. They've got a product, something that they've put together. They've put in a little bit of money, put in a lot of their own time, have a lot of belief in it, and they're just looking for money. So they're out there using OPM, other people's money. But on the flip side, those folks, the sharks, they're also looking for people who are knowledgeable, who've got hustle, who are bright, who are intuitive, who can make money for the sharks. So syndication is just a great way if you're younger and you've got a limited capital pool available to you to start building a business. And it's certainly the way I built a business, because I had a limited capital pool, but I had people who believed in me, and I was able to utilize my contacts, friends, family, and whatnot. And what I have found over the years, if you treat people right, if you're honest with them, you're straightforward, you put your best foot forward, people come back to you. They call you. They want to invest money with you. I have some of the same partners I've had for 40 years in deals. Syndication is a very viable way of building a business for yourself.
Very cool. What advice would you give someone brand new in commercial real estate? I suppose it's kind of similar to the other question about what advice would you give your younger self?
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Yeah. I think, and it may run into another question. You got to be certain that this is the type of business that you want to be in. I've seen a lot of people who think they can be in real estate or they can be a landlord and whatnot, and it takes a certain type. My wife was a dentist until she retired 2.5 years ago. I never could have been a dentist. I never could have been a lawyer. Never could have been a rocket scientist. We all have our attributes, and I think you got to just look within yourself and ask other people. You got to look within and make certain that real estate is something that really does appeal to you, because while it has some incredible highs, it can have some real lows too. So you've got to have a lot of perseverance, a lot of tenacity. I think you've got to think of the long run. If you want immediate gratification, you can get a smattering of immediate gratification, but reality can come back and hit you right in the head. And it's a long slog for most of us. So, but well worth it if you've got all of those attributes.
Yeah. Brokerage, you can find immediate gratification after like 5 years.
Well, let me share a little story. And it was something that I just saw that I dealt with yesterday. If you're not from the Denver area, we're in a place called Cherry Creek, which is an upscale mini downtown of Denver. It's in southeast Denver. And on a corner right in the heart of Cherry Creek, there's a gentleman, Henry, who's had a hot dog stand there for 30 years. And Henry has owned this corner for 30 years. I was having a discussion with Henry. I was walking by, and I've known Henry forever. And Henry was talking with me that it has taken him really 30 years for that hot dog stand to really create a situation where his wife didn't need to work and he could carve out a living for him and his family. And that's because the corner he owned, everything around that corner expanded, it grew. All of these single-story buildings were torn down, and multi-story apartment houses, hotels, stores were built. And he went from a corner that had very low foot traffic
Wow.
to a corner now that has a lot of foot traffic. And that's what it takes. Now, that's kind of an extreme example, but it's the process that you got to go through with real estate. So
Henry is the only vendor who's allowed to sell anything on the street in Cherry Creek.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
He's literally a legend in Cherry Creek.
He is a legend, and he's a very sweet guy. If you're in Cherry Creek, get a hot dog from Henry. He's a great guy. Great
Wow.
guy.
Wild.
Yes.
And they just sold that building for
Yeah.
$30 million.
They're going to redevelop as they've been doing throughout Cherry Creek. He's going to have to move a block over.
Okay.
But they're going to build another big building, and Henry's got his corner a block over, and the beat will go on for Henry.
Wow. I'm hungry. Ready to shatter your glass ceiling while creating legacy and financial freedom? Head to my show notes for our free guide, How to Get Started in Commercial Real Estate.